but they can go on sci-fi, on the Sci-Fi Channel, and show homosexual sex happening on national television and get away with it, alright? What they believe is okay, but what you believe isn't okay. And this stuff is happening even on YouTube. It's happening on YouTube, it's happening on television, it's happening on freaking video games. You're like, I like to play video games, and I play Elder Scrolls. Now, all of a sudden, homosexual characters are being brought into the video game. Which, to me, that's ridiculous. What does that have to do with a video game? But it's very important because your kids watch that, okay? And your kids have to be taught for at least 20 years. A person needs to be taught that this is the right way of thinking and that is the wrong way of thinking. Now, if you want them to believe that homosexuality is the way that you have to accept and it's just the way it is, then you start teaching them at a young age that this is the way it is and this is the right way. It's called subversion. And they've been doing it for a while now. And that's what I'm talking about. These media sources, I'm talking about Fox, I'm talking about MSNBC, I'm talking about ABC, all of them, okay? They are corrupt media sources. They've been that way for years. It goes according to their political party and their agenda. They are not going to tell you anything that is outside of their belief systems, okay? The truth. It's always going to be slanted according to their ideologies, and that's the way it's become. It's not real news, okay? And to be honest, I don't know for sure if there ever really was real news, because it's all about propaganda, and propaganda goes all the way back. They've been doing it since, the days of Shakespeare, when England had its revolution. They shut down all the playhouses and everything all over London for like 6 months, so that people didn't go to the playhouses. So the whole idea was to bring information and media outputs, to bring them under control, and that's what they do. They in order for a group to subvert or to change a society, they have to first take control of the media sources. Now, with that, I want to also start talking about censorship of the internet and all outlet sources, okay? You can see it now if you look at it. You take a look at, like, with me and what I've been going through when it comes to my streaming, okay? Now, I've racked my head over I beat myself in the head with a rock for well over 2 years trying to figure out how to stream, get good video, and how to get good audio. And the one thing that I failed to do is, to me, the hardest thing, and I failed to do it, and I kept trying to go and do alternatives, and it didn't work. Nothing I did worked. I even turned around and changed over to Linux, which was a horrible nightmare for me. I thought audio and doing video was hard when it came to Windows. Linux is a whole new freaking universe, and I went and I did that, and it still didn't help. So what I finally did is I had to tackle it, and I went and I did what originally I should have done. I checked my upload speed, okay, and I found out that my upload speed is less than 1 megabyte per second. Now, I'm not talking about my download speed, okay? When you download something from the internet onto your computer, that's different from your upload speed, which uploads information up to the internet. Now, on average, for a good stream, you have to have at least 3 megabytes per second. I'm getting 600 to 700 kilobytes per second. Okay, that is a little bit over a half a millibyte. And I had to go and learn how to adjust my settings on my OBS and on YouTube and on all the other output, Facebook and everything, all my other outlet sources, my platforms. And I after that, I finally started catching on and figuring out what it is that I needed to do. But the whole thing is, okay, this stuff is being done for a reason. They're pushing up the price for actually streaming so that not everybody has access or the ability to stream. Okay, if you want to stream something good, that means that you have to go out and you have to pay $1,200 to $1,600 for all the equipment that you're going to need. Now, that brings down the amount of people who are actually getting on the internet and streaming and telling, making videos like this, or gaming videos, or any kind of videos whatsoever. And it also creates revenue for these internet providers, or not internet, the like YouTube or Facebook and all of them, you know what I mean? Because they are making it to where these electronics are being bought and sold. Not only that, but you have, again, besides censorship, okay, of the internet, because YouTube doesn't want everybody streaming, right? They're already going through and they're censoring everybody that they feel inappropriate off of their platform, and their monetization is also becoming politically correct. If you say or do anything that is against their ideologies, like if you say things mean about homosexuals or about black people, or if you say anything bad about their political views, like being a progressive or Democrat or socialist or any of that, then you could possibly be kicked off YouTube or not be monetized. So they're taking control of that in that sense too. I don't know 100% if that's happening with the monetization, but I'm pretty sure it is. And that's what it's rotating around, because they really don't want you. And I also believe that they've caved into the corporate internet provider, or internet. And what I mean by that is, back in the day when internet first started out, a lot of the people who started internet wanted it to be free and open to everybody, to where it was a free way of exchanging ideas, and you didn't have to pay for it, And as time went by, these corporations started figuring out that there's money to be made in it. Now, with these cable corporations, that's what I want to get into next, is after a while, the music industry became a problem. They lost tons and tons of money because people went to the internet for their music instead of going down to the store and buying a CD. After a huge drop in sales with the music industry, it started affecting the cable corporations. Okay, and these cable corporations, they started getting nervous. So they pretty much went to war with the with the internet. And what happened is they started censoring what the internet could broadcast on the internet with like their shows and stuff like that. You had some some networks that would let you air or let companies like Hulu and Netflix and all them air their television shows, but then some couldn't. And they did that on purpose because they knew that eventually internet television was going to take over, and they began to do that stuff. Now, with a lot of this censorship, you can pretty much bet that these cable companies, they know that eventually it's all going to be internet TV. So what they've done is they've gone in and they've bought it up. Okay, like now the cable companies own Verizon, they own AT&T, all of that. And when you watch TV, you see these ads on the commercials where, yes, you get Verizon and we'll give you 1 or 2 years free Hulu, all you want to watch. And there's a reason for that. It's because they went in, they bought Verizon, and then they bought Hulu, and now they can make money off of it. And when the transition comes to where the cable corporations have to go all the way to internet television, they've got it set up. In the process, they're going through and they are censoring what can and cannot be put on the internet. And this is happening it's not happening overnight. It's happening slowly as time goes by. Now, in my opinion, what I feel is this: companies like Hulu and YouTube and all these platforms that are kissing their butts because they want to get as much money as they can until that day happens. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about the people who are on their channels broadcasting their own videos, because eventually what they're going to do is they're going to switch over to YouTube TV and YouTube Red and YouTube Premium, and nobody's going to be streaming their material on YouTube anymore. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to go corporate, and it's going to be all about money. If you want to watch YouTube, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for YouTube TV, you have to pay for YouTube Red, whatever, but there won't be just YouTube. And that, to me, is what it is. I used to believe in net neutrality, okay? And the reason why I believed in net neutrality was because of companies like the cable corporations and slowdowns with these internet providers slowing you down. And they do that on purpose because of streamers. If you use a certain amount a month on bandwidth and you want more, you have to pay by the block. So that means if you run out, they slow you down as slow as they can, and you have to buy 50 gigabytes for $10. Now, you pay that, you get 50 gigabytes for $10 until the end of the month. Now, I went to Mediacom, I was with Mediacom, and they started doing that. And this is during the time of net neutrality, okay? And they were slowing me down, and I go, well, what about net neutrality? Oh, this has nothing to do with net neutrality. We're legally able to do this. So they turn around and they charge me $10 for 50 gigabytes, and at the end of the month you'd think they'd at least roll over the extra gigabytes, but no, they didn't. They started it right back from the beginning, and that $10 just went right down the drain. And they're getting away with this, and they've been getting away with this the whole time that I was supporting net neutrality. All that was going on, they were doing this. They did it with them, and then they did it with HughesNet too. See, HughesNet, they don't have a hard, what is it they call it, a hard limit. Now, hard limit is when you hit that limit, you're cut off the internet, period. They don't have that. What they got is once you hit your limit, they slow you down.